I bought the worst hacker gadgets from Temu. There are some dangerous things like this system, capable of launching advanced attacks on a Wi-Fi network, some bogus stuff like this, 1 terabyte hard drive for only 10 euros, and even junk like these AI-powered glasses or this computer mouse that fits on your finger. Honestly, I think these items are more likely dangerous, either because they don't meet European regulations or they're just a scam. This is an electronic board that's supposed to let us carry out Wi-Fi attacks. It comes as a kit, you have to assemble it yourself, but honestly, it's not very complicated. You connect it with USB-C to turn it on. There you go. Okay, it's on. There you go, scanning. It's already scanning the Wi-Fi networks around me. I think ever since I started making my videos, my neighbors must really love me. They must see weird Wi-Fi networks popping up, all kinds of stuff. Where this gadget gets even more interesting is that when you turn it on, it creates a web dashboard. But once you're on the dashboard, you have all the Wi-Fi networks around you and how strong their signals are. You can select the network you want to attack. For obvious reasons, I'm choosing mine. In the attack menu, you'll see all possible attacks. The beacon attack is the least interesting. I can show you by hitting start. Now I'll check the list of nearby Wi-Fi networks as it starts up slowly. From now on, everyone around me is being spammed with weird Wi-Fi networks with completely random names, and damn, you can see the amount. Well, honestly, it's just to mess with the people around you. There aren't a ton of uses for this thing. The second attack, not that powerful but still interesting, is the probe attack. To understand, you need to know that when you connect to a Wi-Fi network, like at home, your phone will save that network. And if you're not at home, it will constantly look for that network, and there are stores, for example, that have taken advantage of this. They made a system that tracks all the requests made by their customers' phones to track their movements in the store. This is called Wi-Fi tracking. Well, this system has an attack that can prevent stores from doing that. It's the probe attack. I'm going to activate it now, but aside from the letter turning red, not much will happen. It's just spamming the requests I mentioned, so a store tracker would be lost. The last and most annoying attack is the deauthentication attack. So if I activate it, my system will send deauthentication packets to all the devices connected to the Wi-Fi I'm targeting, and these packets will ask those devices to disconnect from the Wi-Fi. The thing is, it only works on devices that use 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi, which recent devices normally don't use. And as a concrete example, these lights I'm using, they use 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. The LED turned red, the attack is launched. It just sent 26 deauthentication packets. Yeah, here we can see that the icon changes here, but my lights don't want to turn off. The disconnection attack worked. When you buy a hard drive online, it's possible that you could get scammed. If you buy a well-known brand, obviously that won't happen, but if you buy something this cheap on Temu, there's reason to be suspicious. It's possible that the manufacturer is dishonest and modifies the hard drive's hardware so that when you plug it into your PC, it tells the PC that it has 500 gigabytes when in reality it might only have 60. This scam is so common that someone made software for it called H2TestW. We'll download it to check if our hard drive actually has 500 gigabytes. I'm going to plug it into the PC, select my hard drive in the software, and click start. It'll take about an hour and 20 minutes. What the software is doing right now is writing files until it reaches the actual capacity limit of the hard drive. Then it will check if all the data is intact. It does this gradually, and it will detect if there are any write or read errors, which would mean that there's a problem with the hard drive. Surprisingly, it worked. It managed to write the 500 gigabytes of data on it. Well, I think it's actually 460 to be precise, but that's within the margin of error we can accept. And it managed to... Yeah, no, if we look at the hard drive, all the files are there. The drive is extremely hot. It's never worked this hard in its life. Honestly, I hoped it wouldn't work, but I still want to try something else. Have you seen videos where people open hard drives or USB sticks and find an SD card inside? Obviously, an SD card is much cheaper and not as fast, meaning it has lower write speeds and so on, depending on what you get. Is our hard drive actually an SD card scam? To test that, I bought a second hard drive and I'm gonna have some fun opening it up. I managed to open it. It's a real SSD. Too bad for the content. The hard drive is from Thailand and dates to 2018, making it at least 7 years old. And for your information, the lifespan of a hard drive when used regularly is 3 to 5 years for an HDD and 5 to 10 years for an SSD. Could it be a refurbished product that the seller is trying to resell, which might have already been used and already has a lot of write cycles on it and therefore a much shorter lifespan than we might think? It's not impossible. So, I knew about the mice you can hold in your hand like this to avoid hand problems. Of course, I know the classic mice, but sometimes there are innovations that are better off never seeing the light of day, you know? This is a finger mouse. Obviously, that's what we're here for, so we're going to test it. The advantage this could have for a hacker is maybe, I don't know, you can put it in your pocket and carry it around easily. There's a tiny USB receiver to connect to the PC to make sure it connects. Here, I move the mouse on the table with my hand. It has side buttons, a scroll wheel, and to test its precision, we'll play an online game. Honestly, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. No, actually, no, it works. Let's just sum it up as it works. So one real problem I notice is that my hand hurts a lot. Really, I've only been using it for about 10 minutes and my hand already hurts. It's the worst idea ever. I really don't recommend it. This is one of those rare things that's actually useful. I've always wanted to play around with this. It's an NFC chip. It looks like this. So I have two models. I have this one, which is a bit bigger, and I have this one, which is small and transparent. Actually, in this part, there's a tiny electronic chip along with a small antenna, and it can store simple information like an instruction or a link. When I bring my phone close to this chip, my phone creates a magnetic field that powers the chip, and that allows the chip to send back the information it stores. And if it's an action, well, the phone can execute it. What is it used for? Well, take a look. For example, let's try putting a chip on my table. That will allow me to make it so that when I scan this chip, my phone will perform an action. It can be anything, really anything at all. It could be playing music, placing an Uber Eats order, or for example, turning off the lights behind me. Those are smart lights, and now I simply scan my NFC chip. We select our Philips Hue action. Now I can close the app. I take my phone, I pass it over my NFC tag, and there, it turns off. Perfect. And it shows me that the lights in these rooms are off. You can use it in many ways, like adding a chip to your Wi-Fi router so your phone connects to Wi-Fi when you bring it close, or placing a chip in your bathroom so your alarm stops only when you scan it. Some alarm clock apps allow this. Install one on a door to instantly open A1's YouTube channel with the subscribe button so you can subscribe. Are there 70 of you who aren't? Do it. This USB drive will only open if you put your fingerprint here. By default, it's encrypted and it decrypts when you place your finger on it. It's a perfect tool for people who have files they want to hide. A hacker or someone in a position of responsibility, for example. And then, if you want my opinion, I wouldn't put sensitive files on something bought from Temu. Right, now I'm plugging the drive into my PC, and so I'll need to set up my fingerprint. There's software on the drive, let's open it. Like with a phone, I have to scan my fingerprint in different positions to record it. Hopefully, it's not being sent to a server in China. I see 2 disk spaces on this drive, and you can choose their sizes. There will be both an unencrypted and an encrypted space. When you connect the USB drive, the unencrypted space will open. If your fingerprint is recognized, the encrypted space will open. To test this, we'll add a cat picture, unplug, and plug it back in. Okay, so now there's no disk space with the cat picture. When I use my fingerprint, a space appears with the cat picture inside. Perfect. But then you see all the error messages it shows, etc. I feel like the thing isn't super well made either, but honestly, the idea of the gadget itself is really interesting, and I'm sure there are quality brands that offer this but better. Why not try them? For 15 euros, these glasses promise to make you bilingual using AI, though the AI is in the app, not the glasses. You download an app. The design is discreet and pretty good, with no bulky parts. They offer several modes, including recording meetings and making calls. What interests us is this mode. If you're in a foreign country and need to talk to someone who doesn't speak your language, just select their language. For example, I'm English and speaking to a French person. I'll hand the phone to the French speaker now, and I'll put the glasses on for you so you can listen. Now, normally, if I'm speaking French and talking on the phone, it will translate directly into English for you. Bonjour, abonnez-vous à ma chaîne YouTube, s'il vous plaît. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's go. It works really well. And so, on the other hand, the person wearing the glasses can reply in English. Okay, no problem, I will do it. Okay, no problem, I'll do it. I think this really lets us have conversations with others. There's also real-time interpretation. If you attend an English conference and don't speak the language, your glasses will provide live translation. I hate to admit it, but for 15 euros, it's a good deal. It's just that obviously I had to install a Chinese app, send my personal information to servers I don't know. Maybe, as usual, there's probably something better on Amazon, but I have to admit that it works. Another object that seems like junk, but that can easily be misused for illegal purposes, is a connected beanie, music hat. I call it a beanie, but they call it a wireless cap. Well, obviously it connects via Bluetooth. I'm connected and I'm going to show you, well, first the sound quality. I'll put a little beanie on you, there you go, just like that, you look cute. It works. In terms of looks, it works too. I can adjust the volume right here with the buttons and I can play a video. It works very well. And I see 2 concrete use cases for this thing. Number 1, as you may know, it's illegal to listen to music with headphones when you're riding a bike. Well, potentially, this could let you do it, but, well, it's illegal. And number 2, maybe it could let you cheat if you're, for example, playing a game of chess, or if you're at an exam, you just have to unstitch this because this would give you away. Same thing, it would be completely illegal. You could get banned from exams, which could ruin your life. So don't do it. Basically, selling this isn't a good idea. Here's the world's cheapest camera. It cost me $250 and has a rechargeable battery, a micro SD slot for recording, and is so inexpensive they sell them in packs of 3. I had to buy 3 of them, but who buys 3 cameras like this at once? I'll show you the recording quality. Not much to say. This kind of thing really illustrates Temu well. You buy cheap things, but they're useless due to poor quality and short lifespan. Still, I enjoyed taking it apart. It's impressive there's a full electronic system for just 2 euros. I don't know how they profit. Next item. Don't you think there are too many electromagnetic waves around us? Shouldn't we be able to protect ourselves? I'm just showing you this, but in the photos, that's really what they show. Look. Some guys made full outfits to protect themselves from electromagnetic electromagnetic waves, but there's no style. One even has a nuclear logo claiming radiation protection, which I don't believe. You should know that we're surrounded by waves, between Wi-Fi, 4G electronic devices that create electromagnetic waves, and so on. And some people think it's bad for your health. That's why you can buy fabrics like this, radiation-blocking fabrics. We're still going to have some fun and see if it works. I can't test for nuclear radiation, but I will test for Wi-Fi. I cut fabric to fit my phone and will set up a hotspot, then I'll put my phone inside the fabric. First of all, the first thing we can see is that I'm still getting the signal. I would have thought I wouldn't get it, because there are still some waves getting through then. However, we don't have access to the internet. I think the Wi-Fi signal gets through, but 4G doesn't. When I remove the fabric, the page loads immediately, so that must be it. Their product works halfway. As another test, I have an EMF detector that detects electromagnetic waves. I feel like the awkward guy in a haunted house with this kind of thing. If we put the phone back under the fabric, does it still vibrate? Ugh. There's no difference, it's still beeping. The intensity is just as strong, with almost no change with the fabric. Next item. If I refer to the product page for this item, it would be a smart meatball. Well, actually, it's a smart ring. Unsurprisingly, you can put it on your finger. If you ask me, the flow is pretty rough. As usual, an app connects to this thing over Bluetooth. A light turns on, showing my beats per minute. Well, how reliable is it? But honestly, I think it's not very complicated to detect heart rate. There are mobile apps that can do it with your phone. So why not this ring? Also, what it can do, in addition, is measure the oxygen level in my blood. That's another light that turns on. And I can also see my blood pressure. I don't know, I feel like it's just another useless gadget. Plus, you have to recharge it every morning. Great. I know there was a YouTuber who had fun taking apart these rings to show that the inside wasn't impressive, but he did it for rings that were expensive. This one at least isn't expensive. But honestly, if you really want to buy this for your health, just buy a good quality smartwatch. I think that would really be the best investment. Now the world is going too far. What is this? These are smart glasses that let you make calls in a stylish way. Honestly, when you look at the photo on the product page, it looks cool. But honestly, what's even cooler is the price. It costs $3. There are buttons on the sides that let you play music, and these apparently must be microphones. And now I connected it to my phone. It's really uncomfortable. I have the microphones. No, wait, that's not right. These aren't microphones, they're earphones. They go directly on your ears. Okay, no, actually that's smart. Well, there is sound coming out. Let's try making a call to see if it really works. I make a call in every video. He's probably going to stop answering me, but let's call Timothy and see if he can hear us. Hello, can you hear me? You don't need to do anything. I'm testing a gadget. I just want to know if you can hear me clearly. They're Meta smart glasses. Okay, I hear you well. Yeah, it's like you're on the phone. These are €3 glasses and they're just as good. Honestly, I would have liked it if you said it's crap. I don't want people to buy this crap. Yeah, no, look, it comes off right away. I barely even forced it and the thing comes off. I think it could break in 2 seconds. It works, but it's Temu quality, you know? This is an Apple AirTag. It costs €39 and lets you track the GPS location of an object. For example, your wallet. The promise of this thing is to do the same, but for €5. Well, first of all, in terms of weight, this is super light, really. I suspect the battery in this thing won't last nearly as long as Apple's. Now, is it just as accurate? Like with the AirTag, you can use Apple's Find My app to connect it. It works very well. And now, in terms of accuracy, I can't really show you too much or else I'd be giving you my address, but if I zoom in, basically, I can tell you it's exactly where I live. It really locates me right where I am. I bought it because I thought it might not meet European regulations, which require devices to notify you if you're being tracked. One risk with these devices is that someone could put one in your bag, for example, to track and follow you. To prevent that, Apple's AirTags notify the person if they're being tracked. I thought potentially this kind of thing, since it comes from Temu, wouldn't follow the conventions and regulations. Well, I tried it out and it still notified me that an object was following me. They had to follow Apple's rules since they use Apple's official Find My app. It probably won't last as long, but it works. I enjoyed taking it apart to check if it uses the same battery as an AirTag. And, spoiler alert, yes, it's really the same battery as in an AirTag, you can change it, etc. So it's just like an AirTag. When I was doing my research on Temu, I was also looking for psycho gadgets. I think this might be one of them. The purpose of this device is to film things without people knowing. You put in an SD card, you turn it on. You can choose whether you want to record sound or not, and whether to use the camera or not. And basically, either you hold it in your hand like this, and then you can film things like this in the street or even in a meeting. Or you can put it on your collar, but that's pretty obvious. I think it's better in a pocket. This way I can film my entire day. Everything relies on this small adjustable camera. As usual, the quality is always the same. It's not great. And above all, who buys this? Seriously, you might as well use your phone, it's already more discreet. Would you believe me if I told you that right now in my pocket I have a keyboard, a PC, and a mouse? Of course you believe me. My PC in question is this. It's a Raspberry Pi. You know this one? I didn't buy it on Temu. And my keyboard and mouse, that's this system. It's a keyboard with a foldable touchpad. I'm going to plug in the Raspberry so you can really see how this thing works. There you go. I've connected it to a screen, so there's really a PC turning on. The issue with a Raspberry Pi is that I can't control it without connecting a mouse and a real keyboard like a regular PC. But well, walking around with that kind of makes you lose the portable aspect of the Raspberry Pi. If you're, I don't know, at a convention and you want to hack something, well, you're not going to pull out your giant keyboard. You're going to pull out this little keyboard. It can be useful when you're traveling and want to save space. Look, I've connected it here, so honestly it works. There's not much to say. I can move the mouse, click, right click. Yeah, well, so it's only available in QWERTY and not in AZERTY. Apparently we French aren't the target audience for this thing. After making this video, I now have too many objects I probably won't use again. If you have more gadget ideas for me to test from any site or in the tech hacking spirit, let me know in the comments. I love testing these things. Hope you enjoyed the video. This was Johan. Much love.